Welcome to today's episode of SINspirational Moments, where we explore various perspectives and the unique dynamics of sin and its implication on our daily lives. My name is Timothy Baker, and today on our journey, we will explore what sin actually is. Well, sin is choosing our own way instead of God's. Sin is rebelling against His design and His plan. And we've all done it. We've all fallen short of God's righteous standard. But that's why He sent Jesus, because He loves us that much. But sin actually has three different and very distinct stages. The first stage is actually the sin itself. Second stage would be transgression, where that's where you know it's a sin, but you kind of keep going back to it, even though you're not happy about it. You can still recover from that. You're recognizing it, and maybe it's not what you desire to do. I think Paul said it a few times in the Bible, how frustrated he was doing the things that he didn't want to do and not doing the things that he knows he should do. So it's not something that is a unique situation. We've all been there. So you can turn transgressions around by recognizing and taking the appropriate action. But the third stage of sin is iniquity. And that's where you know it's a sin and you don't care. You're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. And that is where you start to really enter that slippery slope of finding your way back into the graces of God. Doesn't mean it's impossible, because nobody is too far gone from the saving grace of God. But when you're at that stage of sin where you're in iniquity, you're doing it purposely and know that you're doing it. But let's talk about what sin is in religious terms, because sin is wrong simply because it is a violation of divine law and it goes against what God or a higher power has commanded. The idea that God created people with a purpose, and sin is choosing to live outside of that purpose. In Christianity, sin separates people from God, who is seen as perfect and holy. Sin is seen not just as doing bad things, but as a condition of the heart, like pride or selfishness or even rebellion. In Islam, sin is an act of disobedience to Allah, and doing wrong knowingly or unknowingly affects one's relationship with Him. But Allah is also seen as forgiving if someone sincerely repents. And in Judaism, sin, often called a chet, is missing the mark, not living up to one's moral and spiritual responsibilities. And it's not capabilities, it's responsibilities. And that's a big difference there. Now, there's a strong emphasis in Judaism on taking accountability and returning to a righteous path. I believe that's called a teshuvah. Now, in philosophical or ethical terms, some people say sin is wrong because it harms others or yourself or society. And even outside of religion, most people agree that lying and stealing or hurting others damages trust, peace, and the overall well-being of individuals and our communities. Now, in more personal terms, people might feel that sin is wrong because it violates their own consciousness or their own conscience, that the inner sense of right and wrong is being violated. It can also leave some people with feelings of guilt or shame, feeling disconnected from deeper values. So, in a nutshell, sinning is considered wrong because it breaks trust, whether with God, with others, or with yourself. Today, I thought that was an important thing to break down what sin really means as we perceive it as humans. With the faithful sinners, obviously, we recognize sin as an acronym of share, inspire, and navigate. So If you enjoyed today and you would like to learn more, please check out our other series like 66 Fix or our up-and-coming Street Sinners that will be released later this week, and much more that's on our website, thefaithfulsinners.com. And before this ends, make sure to share and follow on your favorite social media and podcast stations so we can all sin better together.